For this evening, seated immediately next to me is Honorable Dr. James Nyikal, Semi-Member of Parliament. Seated next to him is Honorable Didmus Barasa, the Kimilili legislator. And on the other side, we have Senate-nominated Senator Kasanga Sylvia Mweni. Dr. Nyikal, I saw before the break you wanted to pick up on what your colleagues uttered, so maybe just...
I'll start with the Azimio la Umoja, which is unity of the country. Honorable member for Kimilili said that the republic is united. Now, that is the republic. That is the state. There's a very distinct difference between a state and a nation. In 1963, when they took over from the colonialists, we actually took over the state. We created the state which has got its structures, the constitution, the laws that are in place, the structures of government and parliament, and so on. Those are the structures of a state. Yeah. They do not necessarily create a nation. No. A nation is composed of people who feel and believe they are one, who feel for each other, and they feel for every part of that geographical region, yes, which the state is. And that is why, since for a long time, every 5 years when we go to the elections, people actually fight. People kill each other. You saw 2007, you saw 2017, because people don't believe that if power is taken by one person, group of people, they don't feel they belong there. They don't feel that is their nation. And you actually hear words in this country that you shouldn't be hearing, like the Luo nation, the Loya nation, the Kisi nation. That is what people believe deep inside them. What is before us, we must now start working to creating a nation, a unity. That is what we need. And that is a big issue that is coming tomorrow. You can have a state, you can have parliament, you can have all those structures of government, yes, but if you don't have a nation that people believe in, and perhaps that is why people squander and loot the resources of the state, because they don't believe it belongs to anybody. Yeah. So that is an important point. We have over 50 years run a state. I think now we must start creating a nation, which is united, whether in adversity or in prosperity. And I think that if you go back to handshake and the 9 points and the BBI, that's where we are. Right. And I think that's an important point coming tomorrow. Now, when we talk of coalitions and we keep just thinking of individuals, Honorable Kalonzo, Honorable Raila, I think we are missing the point. Yes. The point we should have is actually what are the ideas, what are the reasons, why is it that as a nation or as a country we cannot enjoy the prosperity that we expect, what are the reasons behind it. And I think around those ideas people should come together. Anybody or any group of people or any party that just sticks that the only thing that is important for it, yes, is to get power, actually does not mean well for the people. But therefore, if you find that at one point, I'll come, yes, if you find that at one point, one coalition or another are agreeing on an issue, okay, that is important to the nation, you can't say that that person is changing from one day this, one day that. Parties should not just be for the sake of getting power, it should be for the sake of running a nation and getting the nation together and getting the people prosper. So to insist on the issue of just individuals, looking at this thing as individuals, coalitions are always there. So when people find they're in a situation where there is no outright winner, or it is not possible to win as a group or as an individual, but it is for the benefit of the country, okay, that they work together, that should be allowed. So people exploring ideas across the parties, it to me is a great thing. Then the other thing was the issue of age. I think to stick to the issue of age, what we should look at is the ability to work. If you look at Malaysia, Dr. Mahathir actually retired, I think he's in his 80s, and was called back by the people in his 90s and won an election because he did a good job. We had President Kibaki we all agree he did a good job. He came in at 70, 72. So what is important is what is it can be done. The future of the country is the youth, definitely. So there can be no single party or single coalition that thinks that I don't care about the youth. If you don't care about the youth, then you don't care about the country and the future. So all of us are actually looking at the future, which is for the benefit of the youth. To single yourself out and make it look like I am the one who is thinking about the youth, and then coming with policies that you actually have never seen them written anywhere, stated, in fact, given out in policies and programs that eventually, when implemented, will give results. You don't know what we don't know what we are talking about. So I think we should look at ideas, policies, and even start mentioning programs. If you look at health, say exactly what we'll do about health. If you're talking about vulnerable people, like Raila Odinga has been saying, we'll do 6,000. I was asking the other day, have we done our maths right? Okay. If the maths are right, then we know that is something tomorrow you can go ahead and implement. If you say you are going to pay for pay insurance for people that are vulnerable, we will just go and say, what are the numbers? And if you actually give every Kenyan an insurance, do you know what great contribution you will make to everybody? Everybody, the young, the old, everybody. Well, so it is important that we look at ideas and policies.
Honorable Didmus, I believe Honorable Nyikal was referring to your party where you boast, you boast of being pro the youth. And just looking at the issue around policies, I also want to tie it by a remark that was made by Speaker Justin Muturi over the weekend. And he said that the deputy president shouldn't necessarily come and lie to the people about the economic or the bottom-up approach, because he's been in a very powerful position for 9 years as the deputy president. So I'm sure this is an issue you ponder on as UDA, that how are you going to tell people that the deputy president is coming with something different and he's been in power for the past 9 years?
One that I want to tell you for a fact that for us in UDA, we don't necessarily have to listen to the likes of Dr. James Nyikal, the likes of Justin Muturi, who have declared their interest against the president of this country, either as individuals or as members of a particular political group. Because common sense will tell you that a competitor will never show you the right direction to go. In fact, when they say we should go right, that's the wrong trajectory. We should go completely the opposite, because they will want to lead us into a ditch so that they can benefit through the proverbial hyena, where you follow someone hoping that the hand will fall down for them to eat. Second thing is that the government that is leading this country is the government of Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. That is for a fact. Second thing is that it is not about faulting our economic model, but it's about coming up with yours. If you are saying that we are hoodwinking the Kenyans with this bottom-up economic approach, what is your model?
Yes.
What are you offering? That is what Kenyans will want to hear about. And we've been saying this for very many times, that our competitors, they do not have an agenda. They have made William Samoei Ruto an agenda. There is no Kenyan who will elect Justin Muturi on the basis of faulting the economic model of his competitors.
Yes.
There is no Kenyan who will vote for Raila Odinga because he has been on the forefront educating Kenyans why the economic model of a particular individual is wrong or right.
No, but they also they also have their models. They say, Azimio la Umoja, before you get to anything, you have to deal with the concept of peace so that you unite people. And that is what actually is, they're saying the deputy president is not doing that. He's creating a class struggle.
My friend.
Yes.
This country sees independence. We have invested heavily in peace for this country.
Yeah.
Peace for this country is not negotiable. It is mandatory.
Okay.
The big budget of this country goes to develop peace. We have a national police service that was, we look at the mandate of the national police service, was anchored on the basis of seeing a united country and law-abiding citizens. Those who breach the law, they are dragged to court. We have NCIC, we have Gender and Equality Commission. So we have invested in systems that will ensure this country coexist peacefully. Dr. Nyikal will challenge me that in 2007, 2008, and even in 2013, there were skirmishes here, of course, being championed by his party leader, Raila Odinga. And I can daily say that they were let scot-free because those who have the responsibility of ensuring that they crack down on those who breach peace in this country slept on their duties, and they allowed Raila Odinga to go scot-free, causing chaos in this country, disrupting businesses in this country, destroying properties of Kenyans who have worked very hard. So peace, we already have structures. If you look at our laws, the Penal Code, the Criminal Procedure Code, even in our Constitution, it is made in a way that it will be able to single out anybody who preaches peace in this country, anybody who behaves to the contrary. So what is remaining here is implementation of a model that will bridge the gap between the poor and the rich. That's why we are saying that our current model of trickle down is not working. That's why we are saying that the only way to go is bottom-up economic approach.
Okay, Senator Kasanga, I mean, Honorable Didmus is saying very well that they are not in the business of preaching or creating a class struggle, which many have said that is what the UDA is doing against the rich and the poor, making each side sort of like get into a tug of war. And also he's mentioned very clearly that your principles and those you're allied to should stop the business of always talking about DP route and actually present policies to the people.
First, I was wondering when you were going to get back to me after the way my friend here attacked my party leader. You know, when he spoke about Kalonzo's position when it comes to whether he can work with Raila or not. And I just want to just let him know, amongst the other Kenyans who are listening to him, that it is obvious and it is clear, and my party leader has come out very clearly that we have unfinished business with ODM. And that is part of the reason why NASA had to be wound up. Because we needed to finish our unfinished business, which is still unfinished. We still have outstanding business. And it is because of that, that we have to say, yes, in as much as we can work together, we still have to finish some unfinished business, which is still on the table for discussion and for conversation. And this is politics. I think, Didmus here, Honorable Didmus, will agree with me. When it comes to politics, and if you're looking at the greater good of the nation, then there are certain, you can't just take hardline positions just because you want your own position to work. We have to be open to the minds of what is best for Kenya. And that is where my party leader actually stands when it comes to that. And so let's be clear with that. And Didmus, tone down when it comes to when you're talking about our leaders, you know. But to answer your question, Alan, for those of us who read history, we have seen politics that are played to, one, the gallery, two, creating class strata, especially at a time when the economies are struggling. We've seen how this happens, and we've seen leaders who have come into power by playing on the vulnerabilities of people when their nations are struggling in times of their economics. We have seen it.
So is this what?
And we know it. And this is exactly what the bottom-up economics is all about. It's about stratifying. It is true. It is about stratifying. Because truly, when you look at already our devolved system as it is, we have devolved our national resources fully, almost. And in fact, the conversation that we've been pushing and trying to push is more funds to be sent to the counties. More funds to be sent to the counties. At the moment, we have the equitable share that is going to the counties. We have the CDF that goes down to constituency level. We have the National Government Fund for Women, Affirmative Action Fund, NGAF, that also goes down to the people. Besides that, the youth have several funds that are serving them. The youth have several funds that are serving them. Something we didn't have at our time when we were leaving university. About 10 or 15 years ago, that option was never there. Besides that, the Constitution allows for even young people to get a quota in tenders, government tenders. There's a slot for youths, which is actually applied very seriously, youth and women and all that. So when we talk about bottom-up, what exactly are we talking about? For me, that is something I've never really understood, and I've tried to keep an open mind so that I can understand.
Hold this thought. I'm getting back with you after the break. You'll pick it up from there. Let's take a short break. We'll be getting back with this conversation in a short while.